Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Only Football. Something happened today. I don't even know. International break started, and
this is one competition
there's a tournament
that you refused to watch. Well, I didn't watch the game. If I had time, I would have, but it's still a competition you got to watch.
Why?
It's international play.
Mike, I'm telling you, I did not. I made a point not to look at what was going on in that match. And then, one of the regulars came in, and he's like, "Oh, did you see it today?" I was like, "No." It's like they started burning FC up top. I was like, "Well, okay, I guess they lost."
They did.
I could not care less. I could not care less. And international, it's not that I couldn't care about international break necessarily. It needs to happen. The UEFA Nations League, I could
care less about.
I could not give.
It's just another money ploy.
Or the World Cup. I understand. That makes sense. But yeah, it's just.
What does the winner of this get?
Yeah, I think it's a spot.
World Cup or Euro Cup?
Well, it's a spot in the world. It must be because every 2 years, right?
Yeah, when Portugal won it 2 years ago, they didn't get an automatic spot to Euros. They still had to earn away, which was weird.
What? I thought that's what it was.
I thought it was too. You never know. They always change it with this, but
I could not. You're just making me carry.
No, I know, but it was Spain got the revenge. 2-1 win for Spain.
No, don't count that as revenge. That's like United getting revenge against Villarreal after losing the Europa League in the group stage.
It's revenge.
It's not.
It's 3 points needed to secure hopefully a place in.
I'll be right there. Okay.
This is just so much more difficult than what I have.
The altogether the Euros, Nations League, the international break. No one likes to see it, but it has to happen.
Oh.
Perfect.
Gosh. All right. Okay. See, I went to culinary school. Now I'm helping people with microwaves. That's what I did. Yeah. Anyway, so
would you care more? This was actually a fun proposal to do internet. And no one likes international break, right? But if all the leagues came together,
instead, like
it did 2 months.
2 months off.
A month and a half. Would you be more interested?
I thought about that. I thought about it this week, and
there's no easy solution, right?
No, because you know what? I would be as a fan. I would be, but the thing is that players would get hurt.
Yeah,
like more than they are now. It happens. It's throughout the course of the season. There's a lot of gameplay, and players get hurt, especially with the international break, which is necessary. I won't say that. I won't say anything against that, but I did think about that, and it's I was like, could they do a month? Could they do a month and a half?
Yeah,
and just
bang out,
yeah, and then build up, and then it's like, and then like as
the coaches have them for longer.
Yes, and then as a fan, like you can even as a neutral, especially you can just kind of like, okay, well, England's playing Andorra today, but Brazil's playing Argentina.
Yeah,
and then even like 3 days from now, then England's playing Portugal. Not that is a group, but just as an example. But because then players will be giving even more, and
it hit and miss, right? The only thing with soccer is if they did like 1 month each year, right? You pay 6 matches, get it out the way. You wait another year to play the other 6 matches, and then qualifying's done that way. The only thing that it's an issue is, if you're not in form in September or October, and that month happens to be November, that they do the international break, you have to wait till another year to get into that squad to be able to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
If injuries happen to teammates in November, December, January, then you get the call up. You have your chance to shine.
Yes.
That's what it eliminates,
yes.
right?
And then it also shakes up the team chemistry building up to like the bigger tournaments as well.
Yeah.
So as a manager, based on form, for example, like if you go to Southgate, like he was loving Harry Winks. And even like we're well past the fact that Mourinho was even looking at him, right? But you're still bringing Harry Winks in the team.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have done that, and that would affect Gareth Southgate, right?
Yeah.
Just to have for that year, and it's okay, and then so November is the month you're playing through November, and then that's what it is. And you had a few players in this team, and then they didn't play together again.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest. That's a very good point. I think that's the biggest reason why
they don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Until then,
injuries aside, maybe I would say that more than anything.
Yeah, we're gonna have to live with international breaks. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? It
Yeah.
gives us an opportunity to do an off episode like this, a specialty episode.
Yes, yeah, and so we're going to be doing little report cards, as Mike said.
Yeah, like midterm.
Not even midterm.
Yeah, I would say
Early.
not even a quarter of the way through.
Like your kids are fucking up. We're letting you know early. Like the midterms are coming in a couple months.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you know. And then for the good ones, keep it up. And just we're putting a word into you. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. First, let's a couple of good Canadian boys.
Talk about our chances.
International break stops here after this. It stops right here, and we'll touch up on it again next week and see how Canada did. But Canada's got Mexico tomorrow. Drinking. Mexico,
Jamaica. It's Jamaica the road too, and then Canada's a home. Either way, this is obviously our best chance to make it. We made the final stage. We're off to a decent start. 2 wins, 2 ties, and a loss, and a win, right?
Yes.
Tying USA.
States in the road though too.
Tying
huge.
Tying Honduras at home and beating Dominican.
No, we beat El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Plastic Canadian fan.
You know what? John Herdman has our team playing well. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
Getting results that we.
Jamaica's on the road as well. With Panama's at home.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And to be honest, I have to say, just based on Panama's, if I had to choose, if I had to play Mexico on the road, I'd choose between one and the other two. I'd want Panama at home. If I had to put them together, because Panama, I remember last time we were there, they were just they were the whole hotel thing all night long.
Oh, right.
And just in this mess with us, and that's a huge thing. But I think we can get 6 points here.
We need 6 out of 9.
That
should be the goal.
I think we can. I think we have I think we have the 2 best players out of. I would say 2 of the best 3 players out of any of these teams. Even Mexico. I know Mexico's a better team, but I do think we have the
best
2 out of 3 players. And when it comes down to, almost I don't even.
Saying David and Davies.
Yes. Yeah. I don't agree.
Who's the other one? Lozano.
No. Yes.
And then McKennie and Pulisic.
They're playing those teams.
Oh, out of the okay. Sorry. Yes.
Out of the teams that are playing.
Okay.
I do think that
Raul Jimenez. He's coming back from injury, but
Jimenez should be back.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
When he's healthy, I think he's better than David.
You're right.
Or for now.
I think
David has potential.
I think David has more to his game. He's coming off hot. He scored a brace. He just scored a brace in the week. Really great when 2-1 to Marseille.
Mm-hmm.
I think hopefully he can ride that momentum.
He's not in a soft slump. That's what everyone was worried about.
She just I was over there. Sorry, I was over there helping this lady in the hospital work the microwave, and she just cooked the most delicious microwave crap you can imagine. It's it's shit. It's fucking it's shit, but it's I want to eat right now. I'm fucking hungry. Now I'm just now we're just stuck in this for 20 minutes. I think David actually does have the potential to be a more just better player. Just more to his game in terms of finishing. Jimenez is an incredible aerial threat. And I mean, you've seen that with Wolves, year in, year out. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, but he's still good with his speed. He's still a good hold-up guy, set up.
Yeah, you're
strong.
Right. You're right.
He's just more developed, I think. David is still developing, right? He's still young. He's only 21.
Currently, Jimenez is Jimenez is better. And you're right. Yeah, Jimenez is not played. Is Jimenez going back though? It's
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
That's
because he just got his first goal. He's now getting matches in.
Yeah.
It's.
Are you going to rush him back? Or Wolves going to let him rush him back? I don't know that.
No, but
And I don't know about
hopefully,
that.
hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Let's see if I can pull something up there.
Well, it's still 24 hours. I doubt the lineup will.
But I'd like to see a potential lineup is what I'd like to find, and I just messed that up. I think 6 points we can get.
6 points would be huge.
Antonio's not going to Jamaica because they have Michael Antonio's been he's Jamaican.
He's playing for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Isn't he English though?
But he has Jamaican descending. He was never called up. But he's not going. He's not going because
has he played for Jamaica yet? Because then he still has.
I was reading today. He's not going to Jamaica. Yes, he still has that option.
Okay, so he hasn't gone yet. Which is I for him. I think I would just try. And I know it's hard to make England, and especially with what they only have Kane though. They have Calvert-Lewin. They have who else? Bamford, Watkins. He can compete up there.
Absolutely.
So I don't understand why he would sell himself short and sell out with Jamaica. I didn't even know about that. So Jamaica's hoping, but even if he is, he's not going to play against Canada. I don't think he would go that route because once you go that route, you have to wait 5 years before you can change national or play for another nationality. So and he's already 29.
He's getting up there.
28.
Yeah, but I mean, you take your chance there.
I don't know. Jamaica, knowing, for me, it doesn't make sense for him.
He is Jamaica. Yeah. He's already there, man.
He's already playing?
Yeah.
How many caps does he have?
He's one.
Oh, he screwed himself. He screwed himself.
Yes,
he screwed himself. Well, hopefully he's not playing. Stay at West Ham veterans.
He's not. No, he's not.
Oh.
He's not. I think he made the decision. That's why I was pretty sure.
Nice.
Because he made that decision himself to not go
Perfect.
because of those COVID shit, right? So,
Yeah.
And Leon Bailey, I'm not sure. Leon Bailey, but
We should still get points.
it was weird. I agree.
We should still get points.
I agree.
Like all three. Panama might be iffy, but at least we're at home for that.
We're at home. No, I think we beat Panama.
And I think we should win.
I think we beat Panama, especially because we're home. I think where the test is when we go there. And Jamaica on the road, I don't know. I mean, also, yeah, I think that crowd is just.
Is it Jamaica or Trinidad that eliminated States last World Cup? It was Trinidad. They beat them 2-0.
Yeah, Soren was very happy.
And Taylor Twellman went off on that rant.
And what?
No, you have to watch it later. But
Who's Taylor Twellman?
he was an MLS player, U.S. striker.
Don't say Taylor Twellman like everyone's.
Oh, he scored a lot of goals in MLS. He's like, I know. Okay, Max. All right, let's move on to the rankings, the grade systems. For this episode, we're only doing 2 leagues, Serie and EPL so far. We might do other leagues and another international break. That it might even be a full, almost quarter of the season done by then, maybe a third. If we
Come November?
Oh, next international break.
That's November.
Yeah.
It's November.
Yeah, a third of the way through. Well, we can do Serie, La Liga, Bundesliga, Liga, maybe.
Yeah, I also apologies and thank you to all the real ones, and I mean whoever listens, big on it. But Dave, TJ, obviously Guy. I feel like I'm missing someone. Eric from Check Down Charlie's who did the Series. I've got it all. I'm gonna get around to actually doing the proper work and getting everyone's shit, lined up for that Series Cup tally and just putting it out there for you guys just to look at it. Throughout the year. It would be great if I could get some kind of technology that would update it increment like week to week, like as it's happening. That would be amazing.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get too ahead of yourselves.
I just wouldn't have no idea how to do it. That's the thing. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. I just have no idea.
Always formulas.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So don't peek.
I'm not peeking. Look at my grades are already here. My grades. I'm not changing anything. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going Serie A and then PL, and we're going to do alphabetical order. So we're not just going from bottom to top or top to bottom. So Atalanta.
I thought AC. I have AC first.
Oh, I put them as Milan.
Okay, we'll do Atalanta then.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I put them as Milan for insurance.
Inter? Okay. All right.
That's fair.
I was like, I don't know if it's Atalanta or AC, but I started with AC. You want me to go first with Atalanta?
Yeah, well, one thing I do want to say for you, Mike, is that like you brought up last week when we were previewing AC and Atalanta, actually, is the fact that I was talking about I've been disappointed in Atalanta up to this point, and last week didn't help it at all. But you did say that teams are getting wise to them, and
they shot themselves in the foot that match. I feel against Milan.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
No.
Oh, yeah. Don't watch the highlights. They beat themselves. They had chances even when it was 0-0, 1-0. Couldn't finish. But second goal, gift.
Yeah.
Gift. Nolly's goal, gift.
Sorry. Nolly's.
It was a gift. Once you see it, you'll be like, all right, yeah, that was a gift. And that after that goal, it was over. Even though they did score too late. But overall in the season, it's been pretty underwhelming. I know you had high hopes for them going. Even putting a wager on.
My serious cup is
but going into this, the grading, we just go back. I believe, they're tied for 7th or 6th.
10 points back.
Yeah, they're already 10 points back. They were a favorite.
They're not scoring like you made a really good point last week. Is that the fact that the teams are setting up against like
they're a good team now.
Almost like a later West Ham. Like you look at West Ham just like putting. I don't even want to go that far with West Ham. I'm just saying that West Ham have been scoring for since Moyes last year and a half.
Yeah.
Year in the season, and teams aren't really taking this as like week and next team. You said it, Atalanta. Now teams back at 10 goals, 7 matches, 9 goals against.
Good.
Last season, I don't want to get too carried with the stats, but they were they're 6th in the league for big chances created, 12th in the league for shots on goal. Respectively, last season, it was 1st for shots on goal and 2nd for big chances.
Yeah, there's been a drop off. And
I know it's early, but I don't necessarily see it changing. You can look in the Champions League. They were. I watched that Young Boys match, and we're talking about Young Boys.
They're a good team. They're young men. They're young men. Remember, you guys made them men.
We'll get there. Okay, Mike, we'll get to you. Don't fucking worry about that. I'll tell you that. But the Atalanta are home for that as well. Not that really it should matter. They are being found out a little bit. They're being found out.
I gave them. Are we going right into it?
Shoot.
C-.
I gave him C. And you know what I have to say? I probably would have hit a C- if you kind of didn't put that in my head last week about them kind of getting found out. I'm almost being forgiving for the fact that maybe there's.
Yeah, I think they were 3rd favorites going into the season.
Yeah. I mean, based on the betting, they were paying like 11 or something, 11 or 12.
I think they were 3rd favorites.
Yeah.
And to fall 10 points behind, I know it's only 7 games, but it's a lot of ground to make up. And if you would have said, it's weird because if you would have said after week 7, they'd be tied with Juve and Lazio, you would think they'd be near the top.
Yeah.
But instead, they are almost the amount of points they have behind first place. Scoring hasn't picked up. I thought it would.
After a couple weeks, I know. After I was kind of like worried about that. After like week 1, I think they won like 1-0 against.
Yeah, and they
promoted.
They haven't really had a consistent 11, right? So it's like maybe this. I know each year is different. You got to find players who are in form or who's going to adapt more to the system. I know.
That's the thing.
I know. That's
the odd thing to me. They brought in Tim Kupenmeyers for like 10 million euros. That was an amazing signing. And that's someone that probably needs to integrate himself. I understand that. But in the midfield, nothing much has changed. I think all they lost was Romero.
Yeah, and they replaced it with Demiral.
And then, he was already like acclimatized to the league.
Yeah, and it's playing game in and game out.
Yeah, and it's just not hidden anywhere.
Maybe they just needed more signings for Spark to create some not rivalries, competition within the team. Maybe the starters from knowing that I brought us here. No way he would.
I mean, what you have you have Muriel and you have Zapata up top. You have Malinowski. Malinowski gets rotated.
Yeah,
as well.
Paslich gets rotated.
Yeah.
Casina.
Mm-hmm. They might be lacking someone to compete with Pacina.
Or even
like in the
Foiler, because he hasn't really had any. He plays game in and game out. I don't know. I think they just need a spark.
Yeah,
Spark
January
signing.
big. They plan to like kind of hang on and like keep within striking distance until January and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Okay, on Juventus.
You going first? Or am I going first?
Why don't you?
They have the lowest grade for me out of all the teams who are going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, you would be harsh on your children.
I wouldn't give it an F. Are we just doing league, or is it all of like for their season? Okay, perfect. I have a D.
You should clarify.
I have a D. I did it for the whole. A D. I know it's harsh, but it's the truth. This is not, Allegri coming back. Most of the players on the team have been around for when he first left. It's only been 2 years. There's a few new signings like Arthur.
A lot of aging though.
I know, a lot of aging. We're trying to get younger.
In terms of those players, in the back line, that's where the age is.
Yes, and having Chiellini, Bonucci, De Ligt was came in after, but most of the players, Sandro, Danilo came, Chesney, they kind of know what the defensive scheme is for playing under Allegri's Juventus. And defense is the one thing that hasn't been there. And surprisingly, we're scoring, and the goals we're scoring are actually nicely created, but we're defending horribly. And under Allegri, defense is the key for his team to generate consistent wins game in and game out. And until they get that foundation of the rock at the back, it's not going to get any better. We have 11 goals, 7 games. Okay, yeah, it could be better, but 10 goals against.
But that's
we haven't had we finally kept a clean sheet last week.
Yes,
and that was our first.
Twice.
Well, yes, twice. Once in the Champions League, but I'm saying clean sheet in Serie since March.
That's a big turning point. That Chelsea match is huge, and he, after the Torino 1-0, he even came out Allegri came out and said that now like Juventus is rediscovering their taste for defense.
Yes,
and I think it's big. Like it's a really really bad start. If you asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have given him an F. If you asked me like 2 weeks ago,
yeah, what?
I would have given him an F.
I still have him as a D. You want C- as well?
C+.
Oh, you.
I think C+. I was toying with B-.
B- C+. No, it's a D.
It's there.
It's a D.
It's. I'm giving it a C+. I will scratch the B-. C+. It's the vision is there.
It takes time.
That last week. I'm telling you, yeah, I will say that.
So you went from F to C+ in the last week.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. But the Torino result, honestly, if you guys had gotten, if you guys
had won 2-1,
no, if you guys lost, if you guys won 2-1 against Chelsea, it'd probably be like maybe C-. At least it still won. But like if you guys had lost 2-0 to Chelsea, like I had predicted, it would be a D. It'd be easy D, even if you beat Torino 1-0. If not net, I probably wouldn't even consider that. But that Chelsea result to me is huge.
I think it's just huge for Champions League qualifications. I don't think it tells the whole story of how the season has been so far.
No, but to me, I think it shows that your team, the players are fading back into what it was under Allegri. What you wanted this whole time, what you have been complaining about for a couple of years, is the fact that I just want this 1-0.
I don't care. I don't feel safe. Yeah, the last few years I hadn't feel safe.
I don't care if it's boring. We get the results, right?
Yeah, we did. Still, there's still some tinkering to do, and we still need to find our consistent 11 or formation that we can establish our type of ball, which is possession-based, side to side, waiting for defense players to shift out of position or out of formation, and then penetrate those gaps that is created from the scoring side to side movement. which is a electric ball, right?
So I mean, someone like Dybala and Chiesa are going to be.
But they got to stay healthy. But Dybala just got to stay healthy. Morata, he's good when he plays. Sometimes he's frustrating, but he scores goals every now and then. You have to keep. I think right now we're depending a lot on Chiesa. We need more balanced attack instead of, I guess, a predictable attack. But we'll see Allegri as it goes on. Hopefully everyone's fit, stays in. But so far it's a D for me. It's a D. Signs of improvement, but still a D. You shouldn't get your first win after your fifth game, no matter how bad the start is.
It was a shaky win as well. Let's say that.
And believe it or not, we have more points now than we did in the 15-16 season. And we had 10 points. We had 8 points after 7 games. Now we have 11, and we still managed to win that by almost double digits. So, but that won't happen this year. It's over.
It's over.
It's not over for league, but give it 3 more weeks. If we don't catch up on the 10 points, it could be very bad.
I remember. Okay, let's go on to Lazio. And
I thought Inter's next.
Oh yeah.
Inter was supposed to be before Juve, actually. Hij, yeah. Are you Inter? Okay, yeah. Do you want to start with this one, or?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It was Inter. You know why? You know why it happened? Is because I put Milan.
You put Milan then Inter, or Inter?
So I'm having like 8. Like I put like the Milan's like under M, but I had like AC first and Inter.
I just wrote it down. I was like, okay.
That's fine. Okay, let's do Inter. Maybe a little harsh because they've been firing. They've been firing and scoring a bunch domestically, but you have to bring in the champion.
I know, but don't. I still don't believe. I don't go to the level I think you're going to, but go continue. Oh, okay. Whew. Okay. I went B. I thought.
Oh, okay. So you were harsh than I.
No, the Champions League is important because
absolutely.
this is consistency.
You won the Scudetto last year. I understand you got knocked out last year, and then you just walked the Scudetto. It was really tough. But now it's time to juggle it.
Yeah,
you should be ready to
handle both.
You should be able to handle both. Lukaku or not, Jeff come in very nicely. Again, he might be aging, but he's banging them in.
He still knows to play. He still knows. He's a poacher.
Again, it's a poacher. It's a slightly slower league, tactical league that
he's already familiar with. Yeah,
you can take advantage of. So that to me is no issue, especially when he actually is scoring as well. And yeah, they're domestically they have 22 goals. They are just utterly banging them in. One thing for me, especially domestically, is the fact that they had to come back from a losing position 3 times already.
Yeah, but that shows confidence. It shows heart. It shows confidence that they believe themselves. The fight of a champion.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I do wonder if it could catch up to them, and what's going to go on domestically. Domestically, I think they're 4 points off the top.
Yep.
It's not necessarily the fault. Napoli's just red hot. We'll get to Napoli in a second, but
it's 5 wins, 2 ties, right?
Yeah.
No losses. I think only 5 goals against.
I think so.
It's 5, or maybe. Oh, it's a Milan who has 5. Sorry. But once again, it's the Champions League. 2 loss and a tie, still no goals scored.
Loss on Real.
Yeah, and they
draw on the road shot. Basically, identical group of last year, apart from the fact that Sheriff
replaces Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. Same group. A group that they should have come out of last season, and they didn't really come close to.
The 2 scoreless draws against Shakhtar, and they added another one this year.
Yeah.
Until they figured, I would have had them as an A- if it wasn't for the Champions League.
Yeah, fair enough. And maybe B+ was a little bit generous. I think it's just the fact that they've shown that fight back, which in a sense worries me, but they've done it 3 times now already.
Yeah.
And they haven't been gun shy. Like they're scoring 3 goals a game. So that's why I'm going to B+. Otherwise, I think I would have joined with the B or B-.
Yeah, they just got to figure it out in the Champions League. And other than that, it's been. But as an Inter fan, you need the next level at this
Absolutely.
point. Like maybe winning back-to-back Scudettos is good too, but you should at
No,
least
that is great.
That's
You
great.
can't expect the Champions League, but you want to make that run.
you at least want to make the round of 16.
Especially when you see this group. You see this group's like, we should easily get into second
and
place.
you get more money just
Right.
by making
Yeah.
them knock around, and
Yeah.
that's something that they're starved for, right? So they should be doing better in Champions League. But as for the league, obviously only dropping 4 points so far, it's good.
Yeah.
17 points out of 21.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about there.
No, it's not. It's the fact that they're somehow in third.
Yeah, but they're still up. It's only 4.7. There's
Yes,
still 31
absolutely.
games left. I don't think they're that worried.
Yeah.
But just you don't want to be playing in Europa League again. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now we just gotta flip back and forth because I really just
Lazio.
Like,
We're doing Lazio
I'm
now.
locked in that Milan thing. It's like that was it for me. I'm doing Milan, M&M, and I'll do them A and L and I. Okay, Lazio. Yeah. Take it off.
Under new management with Sarri, it's always going to take getting used to. Is me knowing that after coaching Juve, it did take the whole year, and it didn't even work out then. But we still won a Serie A. His Sarri ball takes a while to get to. It takes a lot of trust. I know in practice the players don't really like his practice style. It's very frustrating because it doesn't really give you a chance to flourish on your natural abilities. It's more of a team. Get the ball off your foot. Don't hold it for more than 3 touches. Get the ball moving, right? Because obviously the ball moves faster than the players. But although it's only been seven games, it does look a bit like defensively they need to figure it out. And it might be a bit harsh, but I gave them a C+ so far.
It's alright. It's alright. It's like pretty. You're getting what you almost expect from him. 15 goals and 12 against after 7 matches. It's just like standard Sarri numbers, and he comes into an already attacking minded team. That's the thing. That's the thing with Lazio is what bothers me. If you're a Lazio fan, is the fact that you might expect more. That with Sarri actually coming to a squad that is already
attack minded.
Yeah.
Well, you just got to shore up the defense. So that's what I think what the issue is.
And you know what? I think what a big thing is. Last week, you look what happened to them losing 3-0 to Bologna. I'm not even talking about Europa League with them at this point. It's really not an issue.
Yeah,
it means nothing to me if I'm a Lazio fan. But it's just slightly off.
It is. I think once they hopefully figure out defensively, they'll be fine. I think they'll be right up there around 5th, 6th, fighting for that last Champions League or automatic Europa League.
Yeah.
If they can make Champions League, that's obviously a success. Because they made it in the past, but they weren't able to stay there when they made it. Right? They weren't able to get there next season. So I think focusing on one competition for this season is best. This should be for the league. As you said, Europa League should not be in play. Obviously, you got to play it and just play your bench, rotate players, but your focus should be the league. And you should be doing better. And you should be doing better than 11 points, right?
And that's another thing. 11 out of 21.
Yeah.
That's
only half.
It's
they had a good result against Roma. Didn't really back it up against, was it Inter? Yeah.
They beat Roma.
They beat Roma, and they lost to another big team. Was it AC? It was AC, right? Or was it Inter? It was one of them. But even in those matches, and even in Bologna, they can just disappear sometimes. If they're not playing Sarri ball, they're just always on the fence. They look out of order. It's early though, but C+ I think is fair. But in a month's time, it could be a B, right? They could win 3 or 4. Play very good ball, shore up the defense, and we could be talking about something else. But as of right now, for me, it's a C+.
Yep. Okay.
Are we doing Milan now?
Sorry, podcast. Just someone called me twice. I just killed it.
Yeah, I saw it the first time. Yes, it's Milan now, right?
Alphabet? What is the alphabet? Yes, absolutely. I got an A for them.
Yeah, I was debating. I have an A2. I was debating doing A minus because of the Champions League, but I think starting out hot in the league and 6 wins, 1 tie. The only tie is against Juve at Juve,
Exactly.
and coming back from 1-0 down. That should,
Handedly.
yep.
I know it was 3-2. Handed.
Yeah, you'll see the highlights and know what I mean, that it was gift wrap. But other than that, even the losses to Liverpool, they showed fight. They were down 1-0, 1 up 2-1.
I disagree with that. See, I've kind of removed myself from the Champions League with them. I think they were kind of hard done by against Atletico.
Mhm.
But with Liverpool, apart from that little 5-minute burst, I know they flipped it. They got dominated that match. They did. They did. I would say I sort of look back on that
Handball.
that second half. No, that second half offside when it was like the beginning of the second half, and they made it 3-1. But other than that, there's like a 10-minute spurt either side of halftime. They weren't really there. Regardless, in the league, top class. The way Pioli's been dealing with and vetting Sandro Tonali into this team since they signed him last summer, has been great.
You can't rush. You can't rush it sometimes, right? You gotta just be patient.
Absolutely not. I would say now it's the time to. I would say now is the time to bring in Tonali into the Champions League. Now that you've lost your first 2 matches. I think it's obvious. It's obvious how integral he is to that midfield. I know Benitez and Kessie are great, and Kessie has to be the one.
Well, he's suspended now, right?
Exactly. He's suspended too, so there's no reason not to. And then I would say I'm confident Tonali takes advantage of that against Porto and the decisions between Benitez and Kessie, which I think you obviously give to Kessie.
Yeah.
And if you're playing them, I say you rotate them. You rotate Tonali in the league, and let Benitez get a start in the league.
A few matches.
Yeah, I think that's where you go from there. Tamori's been excellent.
Excellent. Yeah.
I think he's
here as well.
He needs to start. Tamori needs to start for England upcoming.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maguire's out. Stones isn't playing. Mings is shit. He was getting done at Chelsea before,
Lampard was there, too.
Yeah, and then he fell out of Lampard's favor, and he was never given a Tuchel. And
the call up, I don't know about starting.
I think he's called up for sure. I think he's going to start.
I don't know about starting.
They're playing indoor, for fuck's sake.
Okay, sure. You don't.
Anyway, enough. I don't want to get too carried on. I'm saying he's been very good.
He's very good.
He's physical. He has the physicality from the Premier League.
Hernandez, Ibrahim Diaz.
He was good last year too.
At the end of last year,
No. I think it was the middle where he fell off. He started off hot. He started off hot from last season. I'm telling you, Mike.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
And then he fell because.
And then he came back again. He did.
He's so small. I don't understand how he does. I guess, but
there's some depth in that team.
Know.
There's some depth in that team, and I would have to consider them as definitely a favorite. And I know obviously they're second round, but to me they're a proper favorite.
Yep, they got an A.
Yep.
Second highest rating I have, I think.
Yeah, second highest for me as well. So let's get on to Napoli then.
It's pretty simple. I think
A+?
Yeah, A+. There's nothing else we could say. 7 wins.
Sitting me down.
Oh,
I had them scraping Europa League going into the season. I'm really not a fan of Spalletti. I really didn't have faith in him at all, but they're off to a ripping start. Osimhen.
He's unleashed. No one can control him. He's just bodying.
It's almost 2 years ago that I scouted him.
I know, but still, he is I don't understand why he wasn't like this last. Maybe Spalletti is unlocked. He's bossing the defenses. He's literally.
He's changing the game.
He's getting assists. He's getting secondary assists. He's just creating so much space.
Yeah.
Having 2 defenders draw to him, and then having Lozano or Insigne come in. They've been playing excellent.
The one thing you have to wonder about is that he's got Spalletti that is a bit of a problem rotating the squad.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So
He doesn't.
when do you
That's
start
the problem.
when do you start betting? Because I was looking at it, it's like he's doing obviously in the Europa League a little bit, sure. That's fine. But when do you start betting against Napoli? When does it start to crumble?
You're not gonna. That would define crumble.
Not finish in the top 4?
You still think they're not?
I think it's a definite possibility.
Ooh.
I think we're going. For me, I'm going 50-50. I think there's
Really? Eh?
yeah. We're 7 games in this season. Obviously, yes, they've been smoking teams. They have, like they absolutely have. All right, but
18, yeah,
8 goals against.
18 goals
nice.
against.
It's a defense too, which is
They've
nice.
been good, man. They've been good. There's no complaints. Like obviously, I haven't been following them.
I'm giving them an A+, but I really don't see them winning the league. And I'm genuinely debating them not making top 4.
I had them coming 4th, right?
I don't know.
I think I had them coming
I'll
4th.
have to look
I
at
looked at
it.
it.
I have them coming 7th.
7th, yeah. You're Roma coming 4th. Yeah, there's nothing you could complain about. They all around great team, great playing. I don't think they're going to stay A+ all year round like they're giving them now. But I don't. From what I've seen so far, I don't see why they don't come top 4.
No.
They have a
10-point
cushion on Lazio.
I do wonder how it's the
and
rotation.
Atalanta.
Maybe he's learned. Hopefully, for their sake, hopefully he's learned. And maybe they're also kind of riding like a Maradona
high,
too,
changing the
bit,
stadium, yeah.
maybe.
But no complaints so far. A+, highest rating.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Last but not least, Roma.
Yeah, it's good, solid start with Mourinho. Yeah, it's like that's what you get from him now. What interests me with this team and Mourinho especially is that there's a lot of there's not many household names on this team.
I know, but I think that's good. I think that.
And how is he going to vet them in? You know,
I think it creates natural competition that he doesn't have to worry about rotating.
Any egos. Or
Yeah.
like that.
And I think they're all like
any kind of crowd pressure.
No, because I'm not going to say they're has-beens, but they're.
I don't think there's has-beens.
No.
There's a lot of youth on this team. Like maybe in the back line, sure. But I mean, Abraham's hit the ground running.
Yeah, he's not has-been. He needed to prove something, right? He wasn't going to play on Chelsea. He needed to get playing time. Zaniolo's coming back. He's young. You don't want to play him too much.
No.
He's 2 injuries, right? 2 knee injuries. Yeah. But Pellegrini, you got
Kumbala, Avina at left back. He's been starting match in, match out.
I think it's a good mix of the team, and I think Mourinho has done a good job.
Darboa, Diawara has been kind of in and out as well, but that's someone who I thought was great last season.
Mkhitaryan's playing nice.
Yeah. And he's getting the best of Vertu and Cristante.
The best of Vertu was killing it last year.
Yeah, I know.
He's
But
been killing it for a while.
Diawara well. And not to Vertu's extent, but I think the potential is there. Now Diawara's kind of faded back. But like, who's going to fall into this team? Who's going to get disgruntled? And that's fine because as you said, there's a lot of players who just don't really have that ego.
Yeah.
So
I gave him an A-.
I give him a B.
A B? Yeah. That's tough. 5 wins out of 7. 2 losses, I know. 1 was a shock, but 1 was to Latcha.
Well, yeah, but they were both defensively just not quite there. And
yeah, but it's.
I don't want to carry away. The big thing for me is the fact that he loves to get off to hot starts. He does. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's a different team.
It's always a different team.
Sure. I don't know. I think you got to, B is fine. I gave it an A- because they exceeded from what I thought. I thought this team would struggle to get under Mourinho's philosophy. Right? So I'm like, it's either going to be a rough start and he's going to be out by January, February, or if he somehow manages to get the team.
But again, we're talking about a lot of impressionable players right now. A lot of players who. As we said, strong that ego. It's like they're willing to learn. Like we'll get into this and like let's get some results. It's not about me; it's about the team. So Mourinho hopefully can, for their sake, can get some.
I think it's a great start. A minus.
It is a great start.
I think it's completely fair.
Okay.
I thought you were going to go at least B plus.
That's right, especially because I haven't finished top 4.
Yeah.
That's what more could I ask for? Maybe it was. Okay. Okay. Let's get on to the Prem, and we'll start with Arsenal.
This is
Top of the table every time the season starts. And for me, much like Juve, really, really bad start again. You could ask me after match day 3, and not an F. Did not report to class.
in R, they
didn't come.
Oh.
They never showed up. Just talking to TJ, he's like, if you ask me after week 3, I would give him a D. It's like, well, they played 2 really hard teams. They didn't show up for those matches, man. They just weren't there.
Brentford?
He said after Brentford, it was fine. Got Chelsea. Red card aside or 2-0 loss, you were
dominated. Yeah, didn't even.
I'm just looking to B minus, just like you, man.
B minus?
Yep.
Hey, we agree on something.
B minus.
We agree on something.
No, I think we had A plus. We had A plus for.
Okay, yeah.
We had
But that was
we had
given.
A for AC.
That was
We
given.
had A for
Okay,
AC.
yeah.
Come on.
I thought for
Calm
sure
down.
you're going in the C range.
Calm down. No.
I thought for sure you're going.
There's the vision. The vision is there. It's coming together. The formation is there. He's basically playing, more or less the same starting 11, and they don't have any other tournament to play in.
Yes, that's the main focus. So that was why I gave them B minus.
Yeah,
because they rebounded nicely after the 0-3 start. Because after 0-3 start, and that's in the league, no goals for getting blown out, clearly showing that there's a gap between where they are and the top teams in those 2 games against Chelsea and City. Having to rebound with 3 straight wins and then tying Brighton on the road. They're on the road for Brighton, right?
Yes.
Yeah. A Brighton team that's off the hot start.
No Basuma.
Yeah.
I don't care. That is bad, but still. And Brighton were the better team than that.
They were?
Yes.
I didn't see that game, but still not conceding. The only one goal, and that was when it was 3-0 Tottenham. That's when you want to give up the goal.
Yeah.
But it was a big turnaround, getting 10 points out of 12, staying in contention at the moment, and keeping yourself.
Contention for what?
Europe.
Just making sure.
Not the league. Okay. If they were, it's like a C if they were going for the league. But keeping themselves in contention for Europe and not getting too far behind. So it's like, oh, we can't catch up. We got to write off this year again. But it seems as though the team is buying in to what Arteta is preaching for them. Yeah. And I hope it continues because, I do want to see Arsenal up there. I don't want to see them, come 10th. Yeah, 9th or 10th. It's like...
No, 9th is nice. It's funny.
I don't know. 6th, 7th, they should be striving for that.
They should. Lots of things. As an Arsenal fan, you set the expectations this year.
You got to be realistic.
Despite the beginning of the season, going into the season, you're setting for Europa League.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you can't go from 9th to
against these top 4.
Was it 8th? They came or 9th? Yeah.
They came
8th or
10th.
They came
10th. They came 10th.
Oh,
9th
yeah.
10th.
They can't go from whatever 8, 9, 10th to Champions League. You got to do baby steps,
especially not with what those teams had. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, locked in. Obviously, United doing what they did. That top 4 is set this year.
It's pretty much that.
It is. Okay, let's go to Chelsea. And you first?
I have an A- for Chelsea.
So do I.
It's pretty similar grades, right?
Just a team ago, we finally agreed on something, and then we had to get, and then we had 4
I know. I didn't mean finally agree on something. I meant I thought for sure Arsenal was going to be, we were going to be way off. One.
What do you think was going to be harder on them?
Yeah. I'm it's going to be C minus, A- for Chelsea. Losing. They had a bad week.
And it's Chelsea fan games today.
Why B plus?
Because I expected more from them in that last week, but he's he kind of said right. He's they've had a really, really tough start this season.
Yes,
and they've been great. They played everyone in the Big 6 apart from United, and they've beaten everyone apart from City,
City.
who they really and Juve. They were just so underwhelming.
Well, City went
They were
against
so very
Liverpool.
underwhelming.
They got
They were so underwhelming.
City,
But against Liverpool, they were amazing.
for that second half. Yeah.
That second half, they could have won down a man at Anfield. Like that's just how good they are. Like they went to a funk that week against Chelsea and Juve. Sorry, City and Juve. Which happens. So yes,
It's just a blip. Nothing to get
it
carried
wasn't.
away.
I'm not getting carried away.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting carried away by it. That's like it just kind of like dropped. It was like, yeah, you're right. Like they did play Spurs. They did utterly spank Arsenal and Spurs as well. And that team is just really sound.
And a lot of rotation.
Yeah, extremely. You watched them against Steven Southampton last week after that tough weekend. They were almost very hard done by. Mike Dean was just cheating him out of 2 goals. The guy just wouldn't stop. The guy he can't help
I
himself,
know.
right?
He didn't call the foul originally, and then he's like, I know.
No, well, Mike Dean's the 4th official. So.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, yes. But Mike Dean was so it wasn't his fault.
No, he brought it in. It wasn't fucking.
No, but that's VAR. That's VAR. That's not.
That's him. He was. Sorry. He was. I think he was the VAR official.
No, he was the
fourth.
Yeah, he was the fourth. He was the fourth. Yeah, because VAR doesn't, not the 4th official. But yeah, I know. I wouldn't. If he didn't call it live, don't.
I think he might.
I
think you might. Anyway, yes, I almost got that taken out of perspective a little bit. Almost dropped to a B+, which would have been fair considering my other grades. But
I think it would have been a harsh A-. So they're still a juggernaut, and they still got.
It's a blip, as you said.
And now they got the easy run of fixtures, and if they come out of what they started with those first 6 games and still.
Who are you captaining this week?
Oh, I still have to use my wild card, so.
You don't have to.
Well, I am, but I'm waiting to activate it till international break is almost done because I don't want to get someone and then they get injured.
But it's wild card.
I know, but you could still use their value, right? So So I want to keep my team value up. I don't want to make the trade and then lose 0.1.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Liverpool. It's me now.
Yep.
I have A- again.
I did B+.
For me, it's just like I know they're done first. Champions League, excellent,
yes,
and that's a big boost. And you just find that, and I've been happy with I would say if Reece James and taking that unlucky red card, there's a decent chance it was that match. But against Liverpool, against City, also somewhat lucky.
Horrible first half.
Terrible first half.
Should have been down 2-0.
Yeah, fair enough. Second half bounced back nicely, and for me, it's the first time you see them with Van Dijk in a while, and it's all coming together again. So I'm giving them a little bit of leeway as well in terms of just coming back to what they were over a year ago, basically, and that's what I'm giving them as Champions League as well.
Yeah, compared to Chelsea, if I gave Chelsea an A-, I had to give Liverpool B+. They haven't lost yet this year. Obviously, that's good. But 3 ties, and you look at the 3 ties. One, against Chelsea being a man up at home, you got to come out of that game with results.
Still, to me, it's still early going. For me, when that match happened, it was still Liverpool kind of getting their team back together, and Chelsea having all that momentum from what they had last season as well.
I guess, but knowing that Chelsea's going to be in a title race contender, and you give them that advantage, you got to take advantage of it. And they didn't. Against City, they had a horrible first half. Second half, great half of soccer. Football. I slipped. I'm sorry. But still, to get out of halftime 0-0 and come out guns blazing, playing the Liverpool soccer football that we're used to seeing, going up twice and blowing the lead twice, it's important, right? And what was the other time? Brentford.
Yeah,
Brentford, after seeing all the other teams drop points, and that was your chance to go up. Man U lost, City beat Chelsea, so they had the results. All they had to win. They blew, was it 3 leads against Brentford? It was 2.
They're down 1-0.
They're down 1-0, 2-1, and then 3-2.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
You got to come out with results there and points. And for me, that's why I couldn't put them in the A level. Although they have 6 points out of 6 in Champions League, with 2 impressive wins. It's the games against the big teams and the chance to increase their lead from what it already is. Actually, they don't even have the lead. Chelsea has the lead. Yeah, they don't even. They should be top of the table.
I know.
They should be.
I'm just being a little generous to them, which maybe you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, because it's a rival.
Is the fact that they're just kind of really bringing themselves back from so necessary. Just gonna win spoon. Anyway, let's go on the City.
For me, I went A- for City.
So did I.
Um,
And then A-. I think these 3 teams are like straight up
the
league
best.
contenders, and just like mitigating factors, be it bringing themselves back together or a slow start. No one's just been like, to me, head and above the rest. I mean, you look at the table; it speaks for itself. You can look at City, losing to PSG, but I don't think that they were.
They played well that game.
I agree.
They played well.
That's the thing. It's like if they lost 3-1, like shit, they would be down to like B+. They could have won that game.
They
Genuinely think
they should have at least tied it, and said after that they had all the chances, and they just couldn't finish. But regardless, they had the blip at the start of the season against Spurs, and then another blip against Southampton, right? Because without a forward, like they need a recognized striker, and I know Pep is playing without one, and even when Jesus plays, he's playing on the right. He's like more like a midfielder type of thing. It is like so. I think those
like once, but like last week when the Liverpool's like, why is it?
I guess he plays better, and I guess he likes his tracking back.
He got to a good start. I'll say that. Like he was providing and he was scoring like early on the season. Like the first 3 matches, he was on the score sheet.
And I think he's got to be used as a 9. He has to. And I think until Pep does that, you're going to see these 0-0 games against Southampton or these like other blips throughout the season where because there's going to be some games where they're scoring 4 or 5, flourishing, and then there's other games where it's just going to be 0-0, maybe a 1-0 win, and it's going to be a late winner. But I think that's going to be consistent. But other than that, like most of the games they should win. But offensively, they're going to struggle until they actually find a system without the recognized 9 that they, I guess, had last year and got into. But then even in the finals,
I think, Mike, as you said, like this keeps up in terms of these blips. Maybe it comes to a point where like
I don't think it'll happen often.
He does,
but it will. I think it's going to happen like 3 more times this season, and that could be enough to swing the title.
Let's say it happens like twice in the next couple of December. He's going to get
a striker for
he's back in. I think Jesus is going to come forward. If it, honestly, you could bless in the skies stuff. It does kind of happen early, where Jesus does actually get moved into the number 1 spot. Again,
but
why is he not?
3 years ago, he was playing him over
Aguero,
and it's like what he can do as a 9. So like, why don't you just
do it now? You have no one else. You have nobody else.
You know what? Obviously Pep knows soccer more than me, so can't really question. But as an outsider,
you are the colonel.
Okay. He's the top manager.
Yeah,
but I guess he knows what he's doing more than me, right? But I think you need to at least buy a striker or play Jesus as what he should be, because he plays that for Brazil. So like, it's not like he doesn't. He's just forgotten.
Fred plays for.
Okay, all right.
Speaking of Fred,
Man United. What?
D+.
You gave him a D+?
I gave him a D+.
I don't know if you're
generous. Might be generous. I think it's generous.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. I'm all in right now. All they can swing me if he stops playing.
A D+ though.
Absolutely. Have you looked at the beginning of our season? We have 14 points out of 21.
Yeah.
We haven't played anyone from the top 6, the big 6. Anyone. We haven't played Leicester yet. We haven't played fucking Leicester. We dropped 7 points. It's horrendous. We should be
Top the table.
We should. I think so. Based on who's Chelsea. Look at Chelsea, City, and Liverpool. Look who they played.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the upcoming fixtures. Michael, this is horrendous. We also young boys. We also young boys, and we were lucky to beat Villarreal. If we didn't beat Villarreal, where would you have them right now?
C minus.
What do you have them at?
B minus.
How?
You had Juve as a B minus, and I had them as a D.
But there's an upswing. There's an upswing with you there. This isn't about being harsh.
Upswing.
There is an upswing. We are on the downswing, and it's clear that Ollie is stuck in his mind. He's addicted to McTominay and Fred. He can't stop.
It's an addiction.
He puts Pogba on the left.
That's
He
an
played
addiction.
these two pricks.
Okay.
Mike,
It's hard to. How would I word this?
what, justify a B minus?
Should they be doing better?
I agree.
Should they be doing better?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Ask yourself some questions, Mike, and I will say yes to your questions. It's not acceptable. It's absolutely not.
They still got to find their way.
We should have like 19 points right now, and we should be perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, in
It's
the Champions
the
League.
Premier League.
In the
It's a hard
Champions League.
league.
In the Champions League. We should be 2-0 in the Champions League. We shouldn't have
It
won
was
the
a
way we
red
did against
card.
Villarreal.
It was a red card. It's hard.
If
And-
City was up 1-0 against Young Boys, what would your bet be to score the next goal?
To score the next goal?
Yeah, who would it be?
Sorry,
no, let me rephrase that question. If Pep was the manager of United
And they were up 1-0.
against Young Boys and they took the red card,
Yeah.
who's scoring the next goal? Who do you bet on?
They'll probably just play it out. I don't think there is next goal. I think he shuts it down. Maybe there is a goal late, but it won't come to like 85th minute to make it 2-0.
So that's still the goal. There's the threat. Young Boys were all over us from that red card. Second half, they were all over us.
Because he shifted defensively. He tried to see it out 1-0.
Yeah, which was retarded.
But the substitutes, okay, Oli is to blame for the bad, but they still have a lot of weapons that
He's not using.
he hasn't figured out yet. So I think there is
he won't use because he sticks with them. He sticks with Tommy and Fred. That is the problem. It is the problem, Michael. It is D+. I don't think that seemed generous. I just give him flat D. Just give him a flat D. What do I give him a plus for? The plus almost sounds nice. C. I feel like D+ sounds nicer than C-. Give him a D. Fuck him. Fuck him right now. I'm out.
They're still in it. They're still in it, and
they're in what? The league?
The league. They're still in the race. Come on.
He can change my mind by not playing those two together. Well, Fred is out because
he still has a good record.
No,
in City.
Fred's gonna like play with Brazil. He's not gonna actually play when we come back right away. So hopefully, we can get it rolling then, and then maybe something will click where he doesn't have to play them both together. But this is the problem. That team is loaded with talent. Loaded, and there's a hole in midfield. There's a hole in that CDM because even if, as I said, Matic is healthy and he decides he's playing, which he doesn't, that will be like he's old. I get that, but there's a bit of hole there. But those two should not play together. It's simple as.
Yeah, I don't know. They're still in the title race. I know.
There's still
Champions League hasn't been.
Let's see what happens.
Well, they have good records against City. I'm not worried if they face Arsenal or Tottenham. Maybe Arsenal. But I don't know. I B-. I was thinking C+, but I went with B- because they're still in the title race.
Okay. Yeah. Strongly disagree.
D+.
Strongly. It's a D.
D. Oh, you gave it D.
I'm dropping it.
You said D+ though. Right?
I did say D+.
So we were both hard on our teams. Wait,
is
a D for Juventus. It's like I don't understand how they're not a D.
There's a swing there.
What swing? It was 2 games in a row, but
the Allegri defensive soundness seems to be coming up, especially against Williams.
We're gonna tie our first game back.
Who have United played? Who the fuck have we played?
You guys played the Europa League champs. I'm done.
Like
you guys you guys lost to the best team in Switzerland. Oh,
Spurs.
Spurs.
What do you got? What do you
C+.
I have a C. I had a C+, and I scratched it away like halfway through the episode. So you know what? That was a lucky 3-0 start. They could have lost to Wolves easily. Absolutely. Watford was dicey as well. And yeah, they're showing City love a slow start. So a very, very lucky start, and they're showing the true colors right now.
What are true colors? It's just showing that they've regressed. It's regressed. It's like I'd rather have Mourinho Spurs than
absolutely.
It's
at least there's like that aura with Mourinho, you know.
Apparently there wasn't because he got
there
sacked
wasn't.
before final. He got sacked before final.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake anyway.
They would have won the finals. You know that, right? No. Yeah, they would have. Mourinho would have done it. He would have.
It was ridiculous. They fired him beforehand. Absolutely, there was no chance.
Oh, we finally got to a final. Okay, let's sack him.
Nonsense. I don't even say. Yeah, this is. I'm nothing against him. I really don't. But
he's just not ready for a big team. And I
don't even
consider Spurs a big team. Sorry,
love that. But I just don't. Like, there was no point in him.
It was backwards. Yeah.
Wolves were regressing last year. Jimenez or not, Wolves were starting to regress.
They did regress.
I know. I'm saying Jimenez was a loss for them, but they were regressing. They were. And then to bring him in, it's like what's the team?
Yeah, and Kane does not look inspired.
Absolutely.
Son still looks good.
Sure, but he just resigned. He just resigned.
Signed, yeah, I guess.
He just resigned. Let's talk to him next October.
He's there for a while.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't. It's they're still above Arsenal. They have 4 wins, 3 losses, but it's either they don't look good in the wins either.
That's right. He's lucky.
And
lucky 3-0.
Maybe they after the international break they pull it together or like somewhat together, but against the big teams they didn't look good, and especially against Arsenal.
They'll have their own. See, I see.
But they're winning like
Arsenal,
1-0 too.
When I compare Arsenal and Spurs, I see Arsenal actually having players that want to possibly, I think, fight for Arteta, and see like the system, see vision. And with Spurs, I think the system they recognize, but they don't want to play it. And they're the key players there that don't want to play that system, and that are just gonna hurt them
down the road.
Yeah, just in the beta. So yeah, you're gonna see. I'm sure you'll see like a 3-4-1, 3-0 Spurs win here and there. Of course you will, but it's not. And vice versa with Arsenal, you're gonna see like you draw 0-0 with Brighton. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like not a bad result considering Brighton is
good result, yeah.
Especially on the road. But you're gonna see as an Arsenal fan, we're playing Villa on the road, like we can do this. You might lose that match.
Yeah.
but don't be disheartened by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Spurs, you might beat Villa on the road, on a whim. It might just happen. But I think, overall it's gonna be a spiral.
It's not looking good. But yeah, C+ for me. I gave it was hard between Arsenal and Tottenham. That was the thing. I was originally both going to give them a C+, and I gave Arsenal B-.
Wasn't fair. Okay, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And
oh wait, one more thing, Watford. You wanted to mention that?
Oh yeah, what is with these pricks?
What's?
Come on, man. I mean, why is Watford getting their man they're 4 points clear of the drop zone.
Yep.
Just been promoted again. And
it's a good start for them. Cisco had a great start.
What are they expecting? They're expecting they lost 1-0 leads over some games. Look at what Watford did last season. They finished, I think, 15th to 17th in terms of scoring, and they finished second in the league. All right, so they have a system. They have a couple of flair players, especially Ismail Sarr, that's going to get the job done. And get some goals in there. You have Manuel Dennis from Club Brugge off to a great start. João Pedro's been hurt the whole time.
Yeah,
who had a great season last year, and you go and fire the manager.
Did a great job. I know it was the revolving door. The revolving door.
You mentioned the guy. It's like guy says they love the drama.
Well, if I was why would you?
Is it like clickbait? Like for them, is it like this?
This is eerily similar
to how they're getting finances in because people are click on Watford articles like, wow, why is this happening?
Doesn't it feel similar to last year with West Brom? I think it's similar.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's very like I think that.
But West Brom was off to a bad start.
Yes, but they just came out. They just had Drew.
They just got from City. They like fired him beforehand. Like they basically fired him beforehand. It's weird.
But I guess, but still, like at least after that,
it is similar. It is similar. West Brom were off to a much worse start.
Yes,
they were.
But they were playing well though in that worst start. You don't think so?
No, West Brom were trash. I love Slaven Village. I do.
You think Ranieri is gonna do?
I don't know. That's gonna be a huge adjustment period for them. Massive adjustment period.
If anything, Ranieri, it's why didn't Spurs look at him? I would have
even still. I mean, like Ranieri's past it. Like what's he even doing? What's Ranieri doing? Nothing.
I would have liked that signing for Spurs more than Nuno.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
I mean, look what Ranieri's done last week. He did nothing at Sampdoria. He went to Roma for like a second. Not really.
No,
not really.
We'll see.
I think Watford's more applicable to him. I do. I really do. But at the same time, like, I can only hope that the fact that Watford are playing a more defensive-minded setup regardless, especially when they're getting promoted, that nothing really changes for them too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ranieri can just kind of come in there seamlessly and do it. But it's like, why would you fire him in the first place?
I don't know.
Man, honestly, the cocaine at Watford's at Watford would be great. It must be delicious. I want it. Lay it on
make impromptu decisions.
Lay it up. That's what it has to be. These guys want to be blitzed out of their mind.
You know what? We should get Ranieri.
Remember Leicester?
We could pull a Leicester.
Let's pull Leicester. You know what? Fuck it. I'm betting the house on Watford. Watford to win.
If it was the beginning of the season, I might. But not mid-season.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'm sure
we enjoyed the report cards.
Report cards. More distractions next week. I'm sure we'll get a storage or something eventually, as we always talk about. And as always, like and subscribe, and threaten your friends and family if you have to. Thank you.
Good night, guys.